for ESB Business School, Business Leadership with ESB itself. And here are our guests, and they will have 1 hour to present the program, I'll take your questions, and of course, answer them as well. The organizer of session is 𝘈𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈 University, Germany's largest study program database, where you can find more than 24,000 programs. Why the number? Because these are the amount of programs offered by German universities. Why the study finder is different is because you have lots of filters you can adjust according to language preferences, tuition preferences, location, combine the different filters, sort programs according to, let's say, application deadline and favor them, get everything like a package, info package, module handbook, everything in one place. And most importantly, to go to the course page, which of course has much more to say about the program. Then we also have articles. Those articles are comprehensive, interesting. I expect questions about scholarships, application periods. All of that is also discussed in our articles. And by the way, they are translated to different languages. So if you prefer reading them in German, let's say, you can also have a look to at our translations. And the webinars, we have more than 200 webinars per year. We even have German webinars now. Of course, scholarships, Uni-assist visa, opportunity card, blocked account webinars are there. We will be also adding more webinars, even also in German. And the subject webinars. Yesterday I talked a lot about them, and today I also want to mention for the newcomers is that subject webinars are the subject webinar is your chance to connect with your future program already now, get to know the people, and be sure that you're applying in a good program. So feel free to use the subject webinar again for your benefit. This is our team. We are based in Hamburg, Germany. We are counseling in different languages. And of course, happy to share our experience of studying and living in Germany with you. Now, I use the study finder to demonstrate the amount of programs, for example, for ESB Business School /𝑘𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈 University, and you will understand why the slash is there. And there are 49-degree programs, and you can see them here. Of course, you can narrow down based on bachelor, master, and then different filters can be adjusted. If you want to know about the university or the business school, you even have the pages for university page and business school page, and that's where you can find the information about the list of programs, tuition fees, application admission requirements, of course not program specific, but general, language requirements, and so on. We always advise you to check the content of the program, like curriculum, module handbook, and other things, so that you really understand what the program is about, and then you know it's a great fit for you. Briefly about the universities. The question comes, if I graduate from University of Applied Science, is my degree recognized? Yes, it is recognized. What we want to mention usually is that the programs offered by universities are likely to be more research and theory oriented, and universities of applied sciences usually have more application practice oriented programs. But going back to my previous slide, all programs are different, unique, so there could be exceptions on both sides. This is the reason why it's important to check each program separately. For MBA International Management Full-Time, I know the whole session is about this program, but I just wanted to mention that the questions are, first of all, welcome, but questions about qualification requirements can be also answered at home if you are checking the qualification requirement section. But again, you are welcome to double check in case you have doubts. And then if you scroll down, you have a list of documents, which is again very comprehensive, and then if you decide to apply, you need to follow that list to submit all the documents to Emma. And
thank you, Nino. Okay, welcome everybody. Before I start with the presentation, just a few introductions. So as Nino said, my name is Emma Heath. I am the program coordinator manager for the MBA full-time program at ESB Business School, which is one of 6 schools of Reutlingen University. with me today, we'll start with our current students. Sorry, it should be ladies before gentlemen, but this was the request. So we'll start with our current student, Mia. Maybe you can say a few words about your background and where you are.
Yeah. Hi everyone, this is Mir and I'm third semester student of MBA at ESB Business School Reutlingen, and my bachelor's was in mechanical engineering, and after that I worked for like 4 years in IT industry with IT firm in India, and later on I've joined this MBA and I'm currently working as a business development intern in a multinational firm here. So yeah, my ambition was to transition my career from technology into business domain. That's why I chose this school, and so far I'm really enjoying this journey. Thanks, Emma.
Thank you very much, Mia. And Rania.
Hi everyone. Hi, I'm Rania Boya. I come from Tunisia. Well, I studied radiology, and it's not in the radio. It's basically radio imaging and radiotherapy. So everything, it's a paramedical field. And then I was a flight attendant, and then the turning point in my life is to change path and start over from zero, basically jumping to another field, starting a new career. And this is why I chose ESB, and I came and finished my MBA in 2020. Now I'm working at Bosch e-bike systems in Reutlingen, Baden-Württemberg as a project lead.
Yeah. So if any of you have any questions throughout the presentation, yeah, please just put them in the chat, and now you can direct them at either Mia, Rania, or myself. Okay, so let's get started with the presentation. Okay, can everybody see the presentation? Okay, so just a little bit about our background, accreditation and reputation. I won't talk too much about it because if you do your research, you can find out most of this information. But as you probably know already, ESB Business School is AACSB accredited, as well as obtaining the various national accreditations that it needs to maintain its status. In terms of our MBA, what sets us apart, I would say there are three things: the internationality, our strong alumni network, and the practical approach in all of our programs, and the connection to industry. That's sort of all in one. Yeah. Our MBA program has been running in various formats for over 40 years, so changing with the time and the demands of our students and also the demands of industry. We're currently ranked #1 in Germany for universities of applied sciences in business. Nino mentioned this earlier. There is a difference between universities of applied sciences in Germany and the universities. AACSB accredited, and quite a strong, for such a small faculty in comparison to other larger schools, we have quite a large alumni or number of alumni, over 6,000 members, and this is signed up paying official members. Yeah, and all of this being part of the state-funded University of Reutlingen. Okay, so I mentioned a practical approach in all our programs. This is probably the wow effect that ESB Business School has, the fact that our students can connect with industry. We have our own career center, and there is a lot of support that happens and interaction with our corporate partners. Through practical teaching, project work, thesis, you can write your thesis with any of our corporate partners or in collaboration with them. Study abroad is possible. You can also not just study abroad at one of our partner universities, you can also do an internship abroad. Although for our MBA students, the reason, I suppose, in the main for them coming to Germany is because long term they want to find a position in industry in Germany. We have very experienced professors and industry experts from leadership roles in top international companies, and currently over 50 corporate partners. And I suppose the highlight for us as ESB Business School is the 2 recruitment fairs that take place a year. This is when all of our companies come in the business of hiring our students either for internship positions or graduate positions. Yeah, and just so you can get a visual of the companies that are currently on our books, so to speak, you can see the big names there. Hugo Boss is, there was a talk held yesterday. The CEO of Hugo Boss came to ESB and gave a very good talk on how, he managed to turn Hugo Boss around within 3 instead of 5 years. And the students were excellent. Our ESB students were excellent, asking lots of questions there. So our location. This map speaks for itself. Down there in the south of Germany, very close to France, Austria, many of those European countries you can reach within a couple of hours. It's an optimal business location, very close to Stuttgart. If you're interested in the automotive companies, they're all based around Stuttgart, as you can see. And what does Reutlingen and the surrounding area look like? The far left picture, that's Reutlingen city centre. Obviously, we've taken that picture in the spring, summer. That's the gateway to Reutlingen, as it's famously known, the 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘳𝘳𝘁. Yeah, I mentioned the museums. If you're interested in cars, we've got Porsche, Mercedes-Benz around Stuttgart, plenty for you to do if you are interested in automotive and such things. That's the main street, the third picture along, that's the main street in Reutlingen, Wilhelmstraße, and with the pretty hanging baskets, typically what that looks like in spring. And most of our MBA students who are coming, I suppose, are a little bit older. If you're looking for the quiet life, the serenity, lots of walking, visiting castles, you really are in the perfect location for that. Mia and Rani can talk about that later.
It is pretty green
definitely.
and calm.
Yeah. We also have Tübingen, the university town of Tübingen, which is 10 minutes away, and this is what people refer to as the Disneyland of Germany. Yeah. Okay. So the program, our admission requirements, we can come back to this later, but I'll just give you a brief overview. So obviously, you're going to need a bachelor's degree. You're going to need a minimum of 2 years professional experience, post-bachelor, a very strong level of English, B2 minimum, or proof that your bachelor's degree was undertaken in English. What we require also, if your bachelor's degree is not business, commerce, or finance related, is either GMAT or an equivalent, so GRE, GMAT, and we run our own assessment, BAT, as well. The application deadline, if you have an international degree, is the 15th of June, because there is lots of admin around getting all of your documents ready and in place. So we have actually brought that deadline back to ensure that not everybody arrives on time who wants to and can get their visa in time. Yeah, the length of the course is 18 months, 3 semesters, and this includes your company work placement and project, which is quite unique in terms of an MBA program, I think. Yeah, there is the possibility to extend that semester, and quite a few of our students decide to do that and take their time to write their thesis in a 4th semester. The language of instruction is English. You would also write your thesis and do all of your assessments in English. We have 25 places per year. The last 2 intakes, we have gone over that number because we had such good candidates. This year we have 27 and 5 more students coming for the summer semester. The cost, the number, let's say 3,700. Let's round it up to 3,700, including your semester fee per semester. So you're paying 3,700 times 3, and that's it. That's your tuition fee. Okay, what does the program content look like? What are you doing? So because we have a lot of students who come with different backgrounds, academic as well as professional, the first semester is bringing all of our students sort of bringing them to the same page, if you will. We have our core business modules. So the first semester starts the end of September, beginning of October, and runs to February. And then we have accounting and finance, strategy, leadership, marketing. You have German language as well. We have made this mandatory just to help our students if they do want to integrate, and then help them later on with their company placement. So that's the first semester. Then you have about 4 weeks semester break, and then you will start your specialization subjects. Currently, this is our offering. You choose 4 of these elective. We've tried very hard to get most of the relevant and current topics in the strategy, sustainability, supply chain management, AI, data-driven marketing. Yeah. In the second semester, which starts sort of around the 10th of March, runs to early July, you also will partake in the business research methods, and this is to help support you when it comes to writing your thesis, which is also a requirement for our MBA program. So your electives, business research methods, and you continue with your German classes. If all goes well, you move into the next level of German. So this is 1 year of on-campus classes, and you should be moving up a whole level of German as well in parallel to completing your MBA classes. Yeah, so that depending on your course, some might finish mid-June, some might finish in September. Depending on the timetabling of your electives, you can jump straight into your company and start your enterprise project, for which you will have to write a report. In that semester as well, if you want to finish within the 3 semesters, you would also write your master's thesis. Some might choose to write their master's thesis with the company. That would be perfect, you know, if they could continue with working for the company and complete their thesis there as well. So all in all, that is how it works 1 year on campus, and semester 3, you should be completing the academic side of things. So your company placement and report, and your master's thesis. Okay, so this is perhaps repeating, but the successful application, who should apply? Really, it's a tricky question to answer, but I think you know yourself what we're looking for: university graduates with a bachelor's degree, at least 2 years professional experience. The range, the question I always get is, you know, am I too old? We don't just look at the age, we have to look at what kind of experience you're coming to us with. So the range is anything from 2 to 15. In this current batch, it's the maximum is 10 years experience, I believe. Yeah. But more importantly than that is you're coming to us with a real desire to expand your knowledge and experience. You're coming to us with a curious nature. You know, you really want to take on international management responsibility, or you might just want to pivot your career. You know, as Rania said, you might want to move your career in a different direction, and this is the perfect opportunity to do this. Yeah, so if you were interested in our MBA full-time at ESB Business School, what should you do? You should go to our homepage, and as of the 1st of November, which is coming up very soon, you can fill out our online application form and upload the requested documents. And these documents are your CV, a one-page motivation letter, a copy of your undergraduate degree. If required, verification of 2 years professional experience. This would be in the form of a letter from your previous or current employer with you know, an official letterhead, simply stating the duration of your employment contract. And then if your degree was not taught in English, proof of B2 English and above. And if that was, you know, once we checked all of those documents and everything is okay, we would invite you to a selection interview. And if you pass the selection interview, you would be accepted onto our MBA program. This is the next, after that, it's enrollment. And there's a lot of uploading, sending documents by post. Yes, sending documents by post. We're still doing that. But the most important thing I should mention here, if you have a bachelor's degree from India, Vietnam, or China, unfortunately, you have to go through recognition of your bachelor's degree twice. So you have to start the APS verification of your bachelor's. And once you have that, you would then apply to a body in the south of Germany that does the verifications for us. It's called 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘱. And all of this can take, you know, a minimum of 6 months. So what I always say is, if you're interested, yes, apply to our program. But if you need APS, also start that immediately. If you do not have a bachelor's degree from those countries, then it's slightly less complicated, but you still have to get verification from 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈. And you need to allow a lot of time for this. I would recommend starting this as soon as you have been accepted to the program. In some cases, it can take up to 4 months in busy times. There's a lot of international students wanting to get their bachelor's degree verified, and the busy times are usually around April, May, June, July. Yeah, so it would be an idea to get that done earlier than the busy periods. Okay, and just so you can see what an international bunch we are, just a few of our alumni, our graduates, our MBA full-time graduates, where they are, where they're working. You can see the big names in there and some not. EY, 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥, Mercedes, Audi, Infosys, Roche. Yeah. And we took, this is only from the last 156 graduates in terms of what functions, what roles they went into. And a big chunk went into marketing and sales, management leadership, finance and controlling. I have to say, however, this does depend, this does vary. It could look completely different for the next 156. It all depends on with what experience our students are coming to us with and what direction they want to pivot their career. But in this case, the last 156 graduates, marketing and sales was a very popular choice. Yeah, and just to highlight a few of the different directions that our alumni, our graduates have gone into. This is Elliot. He went into starting his own company called Trashcoin. He was really fascinated with the German recycling of bottles, or how should I describe it? In Germany, you have your plastic bottles and you're encouraged to return them. You receive a small amount of money back when you return these bottles. So he found this, you know, a great concept, a great idea, and wanted to start it up in his home country of Nigeria. And I think he's been quite successful. I think he has over 200 employees. He's running the startup from Berlin. Yeah, so this particular graduate went into the area of startup.
And if I can also add, Elliot started his startup within ESB, because we also have like a great entrepreneurship center, and he kicked it off over there and he had a lot of support. And this is what also you would get if you come to ESB.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we have on campus, we have a Center for Entrepreneurship. Yeah, that's right. Elliot spent most of his time, I believe, this is what they tell me. You know, I think he went, you have the opportunity to pitch an idea. They have pitch nights, they have lots of events, you know, how to start up your own business. But they really did support him. Yeah, our Center for Entrepreneurship. Yeah, thank you for that, Rania. Okay. So Joseph, originally from Canada, there is a very, very successful startup company in Stuttgart called Zoe. I think they have been running for 7 years now. And Joseph managed to get a permanent position with that company and quickly moved up into the position of head of partnerships. So he's also local. And then we have Rania. Now, I don't need to. I'm not going to.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah. So maybe, is there anything you want to elaborate on that? Just so when you graduate, that's correct, isn't it? 2020.
Yeah, at the end of 2020. It was peak of Corona time, so it was rough times, but still I managed to get a job as an IT consultant in a startup in 𝘈𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘱. This is where I started, and it was like a great opportunity because as I considered myself a newbie, changing from a completely different career. When I came and got the chance to get in this startup, I had several roles, which also gave me like a steepy kind of learning curve, which helped me get my job right now at Bosch. So
yeah, great. So how long have you been at e-bike?
At e-bike now 3 years already.
Okay, already. Yeah. And this is also quite local, isn't it, Rania?
It is. It's in Reutlingen, basically.
Yeah.
I think generally I got in love or I fell in love in Reutlingen and never left since 8 years.
So there we go. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. And so I introduced myself. I'm Emma. If you have any questions about anything at all about the MBA program, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or there's my email address. We also have a chat box on our homepage. We also have a wonderful alum, 𝘱𝘢𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘯𝘨, who he's made himself available to also answer any questions that people may have, and also from the perspective of an MBA full-time graduate. You can reach out to him on LinkedIn, but also there's his email address. We also have regular or monthly info sessions. There's the QR code. You can go to our homepage and find out when they're happening. Yeah, and then join one of those sessions and ask your questions there. And there's the QR code for our homepage, but I can drop that link, or Nina will be so kind afterwards to send that anyway. Yeah, okay. So that's the end of my presentation. Now I would open the floor to questions. You know, now's your opportunity to ask myself or our current student, or our graduate, any questions, you know.
Always a pleasure listening to you and hearing more great stories from ESB graduates, and also to get to know them, because I already know a quite number of them, which is great as well. Yeah, the discussion has been open already since 1611. We have questions.
Okay.
And Rania and Mea, thank you very much for taking your time to answer them. So now let's discuss. We have a quite number of technical questions, but the very last one that came is about the content, and maybe it would be nice to hear from alumni or current student how the program is structured. Is the program more focused on strategic management, entrepreneurship, or corporate leadership?
Yeah, so what I would say is it's perfectly divided into 3 semesters. First semester is more of a general management, where you study everything basically, from law, supply chain, strategy, marketing, all the core subjects of business you study in the first semester. And from second semester, you can pick up your concentration. Concentration in the sense you can pick up the elective subjects, which Emma mentioned previously. And in those subjects you can more deep dive into the concepts, and we have a lot of interesting options in electives, such as venture capital, entrepreneurship, strategy, data driven marketing, analytics. So from second semester onwards, you can sort of go more in detail. Yeah, anything you would like to add?
So for me, I always say that MBA is like a perfect bridge from any kind of careers to a business one. So being a bridge, it will definitely give you insights in all the different fields and all the different areas and perspectives of the business. And what we got in ESB is basically you don't get too much theory as much you get practical insights. How is it actually in the real world? And for me, that was like my favorite part. I'm not fun of the theory. I'm not a fan of it. So I really enjoyed it. It was all insightful. And also a lot of our professors, they're not just professors. They have other roles in other companies. Some of them are consultants. So basically, they have a lot to tell and a lot of insight to offer. And yeah, basically, this is one of my favorite aspects of the MBA.
Yeah, just to add on Rania's point, we have full of case studies. Like every subject contains at least 10 to 12 case studies, and those are all real world studies, which professor get from their own experiences and what's going on currently in the market or in business world. So every class is so much interesting and full of insights. Yeah.
Mhm. Great. It's really interesting. And now listening to you, I have a question which is not from attendees, but I just wanted to understand, maybe for myself, I don't know, who knows. So usually a class, because I also studied in Germany, looked like the following. So we had to prepare ourselves in advance. We had readings, then we had class discussions, we had quizzes, and final exam. Is this how MBA also works, or it's more interactive and a bit different? So, because there were questions about, is it possible to work in parallel, and did you work or do you work in parallel now, Maya? So maybe this could be also interesting for those asking this question.
Yeah. As I said, there is not a lot of theory. So basically, your brain is your best weapon, right? It's a lot of interactive discussion. You have to really strategically think about every aspect of the business. It's not only in strategic management, for example, where you have to be strategic. It's in every aspect of it. In every course, there is, in my opinion, there was not a lot of homework, right? But there is a lot of group projects, which is very essential to prepare people for, you know, for the world, for the real world, especially like people who comes to MBA, they already have experience. So they're not fresh out of bachelor, they don't have experience. Each one of them have a lot to bring to the table, a lot of experience, also her or their specific personality. So you learn to really get involved in a teamwork in the real meaning. And to get to the point of the question of working, for me, I worked since I came to Germany. Like 1 month after I came, I started working, and I did that every weekend till I graduated. So it's totally doable. Of course, it is hard, but because of how the MBA is actually tailored, it is definitely possible. You're not going to be lost, or you're not going to be left behind. I actually finished my MBA with 1.3, I think, or 5 something. So it was never a problem to be on top of your stuff.
Great, thank you. And Maya, are you now working while studying? Or is
Yes.
it a secret? I don't know.
No, no, it's not a secret. Definitely, you can work. I also used to work on the weekends for a few months, and then I have started my internship with Voigt Group here. And it's totally doable, as Rania said. You can perfectly balance your studies and work. And I mean, from school side of support, it's always there. You can always approach your professor if you are facing any difficulties, and you can always discuss with your peers. So it's not a big challenge. I mean, it will consume your time a bit, but it's always doable. Yeah.
Good.
And I'm maybe if I can just add, I think it helps in a way. You know, you have to be extremely self-motivated and organized, and these are really important. It's a really important skill set, and kind of what we expect from our MBA students.
Yeah.
So actually, you know, if you have a little bit of time and you can organize yourself, you know, organize a part-time job around that, then it actually helps you, I think, to get more structured in your planning of your MBA. You know, you've got to meet up with other students. There is a lot of group work, from what I have understood. So, and as Rania said, it's really essential. You're going to get a group grade, and you all have to be on board with that, right? I hear the same from every batch, you know, can we not have an individual grade? No, because this is how it works in the real world.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to be responsible and you have to learn that as well. That's another skill. But yeah, so you're also developing life skills as well as your academic skills.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you so much. Even though we already mentioned, and Rania also mentioned it and described MBA as a bridge, and Mea mentioned that his background is in mechanical engineering. One of the first questions that was somebody with degree in engineering, not specifically like he or she didn't mention which engineering direction, but the question was, would you recommend I take any business-related preparatory courses before applying? And maybe I would give, because I see also Me's answer there, maybe you want to share how was it jumping into business, even though you had experience.
Yeah, so the same question I had when I first joined this MBA, because I done engineering and I don't have any background in finance or accounting, those sort of business subjects, so to say. But I didn't think, I don't think it's required to take any preparatory courses, because everything is covered into your classroom lectures, in your group discussions, in your case studies, projects, seminars. So everything you learn here, you just need to focus more on the subjects which you think you need to get your hands on. And by doing so, you can manage. You don't need to take any special courses. If you find any difficulty, you can always approach professors, look on the internet, um, but there is no requirement that you should do it. Yeah.
And if I may add, there was also a question about how big is the classroom. So in the MBA is always a small group, and that is also beneficial because it brings people together, and they also have a lot of group works together. So basically you will always have a kind of community. You go and you study together, you're always connected, so you're never left alone, even if you don't understand a specific something and it's totally new to you.
Great.
Yeah, the great thing about the cohort is everyone's coming from everyone has a different skill set. Some, you know, the accountants in the last batch, you know, and then they were supporting those who were a little bit weaker in those subjects, and vice versa. That's the great thing about the mix that we have in MBA.
Yeah, I had a great story, so to say. Just before the examinations, we used to form little groups, and who is the expert, let's suppose in finance, he used to explain us the concepts in more details. Who is from more like in data background, he used to explain us. So that's the real beauty of this MBA, I must say.
Mm-hmm. Now it's so encouraging to apply. It's just the great world that you're talking about here. Good. Thank you so much. Then other questions that were a bit more technical or like easy answer ones, like about the language requirement and about the payment university type. Okay, maybe let's mention the point about the university, because the question was, is it private university? Then it was mentioned it's public, but then we talk about ESB, not Reutlingen. Maybe just briefly, maybe Emma, if you could.
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated, and it's usually within the German system, you know, it wouldn't there wouldn't be a charge, there wouldn't be a fee, but for our MBA programs within the state system, there is a quite affordable, if I may say, quite affordable charge for studying our MBA programs. The ESB Business School is one of 6 faculties, as we say here, or schools of Reutlingen University, which is a state-funded University of Applied Sciences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does that answer
Yes,
the
absolutely.
question? Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think anyone who is looking for MBA, they will always see a fee, and they will see also really, really high fees as to 25. We're not talking about USA because it reaches $100,000 and stuff, but ESB, because it's government funded, the fee is super affordable. And for me, it's something that speaks about the program. It's pretty affordable. It's one compact year. It's super fast. Like for an immigrant, like coming from another country, right? From another continent, for me, time is gold. I need to be done fast. You're muted, Mir, if you want to say something.
No, I completely agree, and I can relate.
So time is an asset, honestly. Like it was great when I saw that. I jumped right on it. It was amazing for me because immigrating and the whole process is super costly. It takes time, and you want to get to the next chapter of your life. And this is the offer that comes with ESB, in my opinion.
That's great. Yeah, two more points. One, just to follow up on the work options and all of that. If you come to Germany as a student, you are allowed to work part-time during the semester, full-time during the semester break, and you can apply for 18 months job seeker visa. It is another opportunity that Germany gives, and yeah, as member of or as a student of an MBA program, you are also entitled to have this. And the last question to round it up is about the German. How good was your German when starting? How is it improved now? And was it super important while searching and getting an internship and later employment?
I'll let Mir start. I live here for 8 years. It's not fair.
Yeah. So the thing in my case was I already studied A2 level of German before joining here, and later on I took on German courses in my first and second semester. So I can say that learning German definitely helps in your daily life, in your commute, when you interact with locals, when you interact with students from other departments or other courses. So you will always have an upper hand if you study German. But if you talk about classroom studies, it's not that required. Entire thing is in English. All the discussions, group works, examinations, everything is in English. But I would say it helps in your general life. Yeah.
Definitely. For me, when I came here in 2018, before I came here, I had like a crash course, kind of. So I got the rules, made sure I understand, but I didn't speak a word of German, honestly. But this is also another reason why I love Reutlingen, and I think this is the place to be for me for the rest of my life. I was everyone I encountered was very, very friendly, and they took me by the hand and they helped me out. As I said, like after 1 month, I got a job, and my boss at the time, he was like, no worries, you know, I will be there. I will be around. I will translate everything. And he kept doing that for like almost 2 years. And he even like kept correcting my grammar and telling me like a little bit of Swabian slangs and stuff like that. So for me, it was fun, but I was pretty convinced also to live and to have a career in Germany, you definitely need German. If you want to integrate really in a society, you need the language. So basically, it's very important, but no rush. Let's say, do not stress that much. And now German is mandatory in ESB, so you would get that too, which I think like it's an amazing offer. So yeah.
Good. Great. I see no more open questions. Thank you very much for this nice, very interesting, for me as well, discussion.